What's up everybody, Jake Berkey here, and behind me we have the new Obnoxious buggy. This buggy is built for a gentleman named Shelby, and he wanted something that was just completely obnoxious, and I think we hit the nail on the head. So we knew we wanted to start off with something that was completely ridiculous, right? So we knew the engine had to be big, it had to have big tires, and it had to have a lot of shock package. So we ended up going with a 427 stroker with a Whipple Supercharger on it. And this motor right here is an absolute monster. I don't know if you've ever been in a vehicle that has a big blower like this, in a buggy that's like this, but it's unbelievable. This thing makes 800 horsepower at 4,600 RPM. That's ridiculous. It gets just over 850 horsepower and stays there from about 5,800 all the way up to about 6,800. This thing is an absolute monster. The Whipple blower is a 2.9 liter and we made 11 pounds of boost with it. Over here we've got these shocks. This is another big thing that we wanted to do on this buggy. We've got 3-inch diameter, 5-tube bypasses, and they're the big tubes, which means this thing's gonna ride amazing, although it looks completely obnoxious. Another cool thing that we've got going on are these 47-inch Sticky LTB tires. These are he's got 2 sets of tires. This is the bigger set of tires. These are the ones that just look ridiculous. They've got a really cool stance to them. They're wider, they're bigger. They just have a really cool presence to them, which is really awesome. And of course, you can't forget the colors. Look at this thing, man. It's pink, bright pink. You can't miss this thing from a mile away. We've got highlights that are white. It honestly looks like a wakeboard boat or something like that. I mean, obnoxious, we got it. So of course, because of this buggy, we had to go with the most obnoxious driveline package to match the engine. When you buy the Level 5S package, which is the supercharged big 427, it comes with everything down the line to make sure that this is gonna live. So behind this big motor, you've got a reed case TH400 with all of the bells and whistles and upgrades that you can put into it. Behind that, we have an SCS transfer case, which is the strongest transfer case that we can put in one of these. Then we have 1480 drive shafts, which are the largest drive shafts that we can put in there. And we have the big bell RCVs with 300M material, which allows us to put all that power down to the ground without having any issues. We don't just put any rear steer on our buggies. We put the auto self-centering rear steer from Busted Knuckle Off Road, and this is completely machined and designed and built by us. And what it is a joystick. When you push right, tires go right. When you push left, tires go left. And as soon as you let go of the joystick, the tires automatically self-center. And if you wanted to hold a position, like you wanted to turn and kind of like crab walk, maybe go around a rock or something, all you got to do is pull this button right here, just like you're shooting a gun, and the tires will stop turning until you let go, and then they go right back straight. I want to show you guys something really cool. So on our chassis, it's something that's really intuitive. We thought about being able to swap between a naturally aspirated motor and a supercharged motor down the road. So if you buy one of our chassis or buy one of our buggies and you have it naturally aspirated and you start getting comfortable with all the horsepower, you can swap over to a supercharger pretty easy. So if you look right here on the chassis, there's a little bitty mark right here, and you can see the bolts behind it. That's because it's pierced and drilled depending on which type of engine you have. So if you have a naturally aspirated engine, it's going to be in the first hole. If you have a supercharged engine, the radiator is going to be in your second hole. When we move it back to the second hole, it allows us to put a heat exchanger in front of the radiator. We put big fans on here so that it will cool down the air charge for the supercharger, and there's no fabrication required. You can bolt everything on if you wanted to put a supercharger on your buggy. So do you remember how, like, at the beginning of 2023, we went with a larger muffler inside of our buggies to tone them down a little bit and make them a little bit nicer? Well, you can't have a buggy that's called Obnoxious without having ridiculously loud exhaust. So this customer wanted us to straight pipe it. 850 horsepower straight pipe is nasty.
All right, folks, it's my favorite kind of day, dyno day. The Obnoxious pink buggy on the trailer, Whipple Supercharger, big 427. Let's go see how much power she makes. Here we are. Lane Culver Automotive, he does all of our tuning for us. This is a 427 with a big Whipple blower on it, so we don't bring all of our buggies up here to get dynoed. They all have tunes on them already, but the 427 with the big blowers we always bring up here to make sure we're getting good power out of them and make sure they're good and safe so they're not going to blow up on us or anything like that. See what this thing will put down.